I got a couple of meetings with directors and industry execs. Want to talk to me about my story.
Okay, I love that. Now, speaking of your story, I want to ask you, you know, when it comes to the state of college sports today, what are your thoughts on everything? Especially the things that you were ridiculed for and even jailed for, when it comes to the boosting. What are your thoughts on how those things play out today in college sports?
Well, it's about time these kids got compensated for what they've brought from a TV revenue standpoint for all their universities and the NCAA. Long past due. I told these idiots from the NCAA 15 years ago what to do, or else it'll be done for them, as I was showing them. And that's it. I just think I'm happy to see these kids get what they can get. Yeah, I think there needs to be an overhaul. I'm all about the kids getting paid, but I just think it's got to be in a fairer sense, because not everybody's making that big money. You got your high-end guys that make big money, 90% of that money. But yeah, I think there needs to be a more equitable system for sure. They're making so much money, the universities and the NCAA, because they're partners in this situation, and there's really nobody representing the kids' best interests. It's been that way from the rip, right? And if the NCAA wasn't forced by the states to allow these kids to get their NIL, name, image, and likeness compensation, the NCAA to this day would have never paid them. So what do I say? Get what you can get. It's a good living.
Would you ever want to get back into working college sports?
Definitely not.
Why not?
And it may be in an advisory role,
Uh-huh.
and I sort of do advise behind the scenes without compensation, because I just enjoy seeing the young kids come up.
Do you feel like you were treated fairly, with what you did
Uh,
and the outcome of just, everything that
just
happened?
I don't look back.
Okay.
It is what it is, man. I help the greater good, and if kids are getting it today, and some people say I was the pioneer, depending on how you feel and this and that, I'm just happy to see that kids are getting theirs now.
How would you fix the system?
You need some people with some brain power. Like, you're not dealing with that with the NCAA, and they got a jaded, antiquated mindset. Everything going on with the transfer portal, like there's just got to be a complete overhaul, and it's going to take a group of collective minds way smarter than me. But at least I'd love to have my 2 cents to say, like, this is what I think should be done. I'd give my opinions on some things, but it's a collective brain trust. If we can figure out what's going on in this world and the way technology and everything else moves, you can figure out an answer how to get this thing streamlined.
You said you were here to meet with some directors, some business meetings. Is there a movie coming? You said you want to tell your life story.
There's a documentary in process. We expect it to air. The outlet is a TBD, to be determined. It'll happen in 26. Major motion movie or a series to follow.
What are you hoping, people learn from this documentary?
The real story. It just, you can't believe everything you read and you hear, as we've seen as a country in the last, however, 10, 15 years. It's not always what you think.
So that what your takeaway for this documentary would be, or at least one of the main key points, is that, everything isn't what you think it is.
Oh, that's 100% accurate. At least at that point, you have all the facts, and then let the common person make their own determination of what they think. But at least you got all the facts instead of just a one-way narrative.
So give us, like an example. What are some of those facts that, we can expect to hear about in the documentary? Or do we have to wait,
You're going to have to wait, but I never should have went away.
Okay.
And I'm not saying I was an angel, but I never should have went away. That's going to all come out. There's receipts to back it. Everything, you got to understand, whoever I'm bringing my stuff to, or who's seen what's already behind the curtain, they're going to have to look at me as if I'm guilty and let me prove that I wasn't. And they got everything they need. The receipts are the receipts are in tow.
Why do you feel like things played out for you the way that they did?
God's work, God's will, man. That's how it went. I'm good. He doesn't give you nothing you can't handle. And, I had to go through this in life. I got humbled to my degree. There's contrition within from what I have to be contrite about. But I'll determine that level of contrition. The reason I went away, there's this perception that I went away because of paying college athletes. That was not even a criminal case or a criminal charge. That appeared 2 years after I was arrested for what I was arrested for. I was arrested for 4 counts of money laundering, 2 counts of securities fraud, way separate, on an almost $1 billion amount, which at that time was, one of the largest, top 5 in the history of the country, allegedly. So there's a misperception about what I went away for. I didn't go away for University of Miami scandal.
And the documentary will touch on these things.
Oh, it's going to touch on everything.